Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing great. I am so happy to be here with you tonight. I'm so excited. Let me pour myself my first glass of wine. I didn't think I was going to have any wine tonight, and I'll tell you the story why in just a second. But let's just say, well, I'll tell you the story in a second. But hey, how's everyone doing? I am on the final teeny weeny little square on my Josephine wall from Diamond Painting Deutschland. This is Diana. And I am going to finish this bad boy tonight. Whether it be, I don't know if I can get all this done in an hour and a half. And I know it doesn't look like a very big area, but you have to remember that this is really, really confetti heavy. So and I do have to find all my drills. I got 250 colors. So I do have to find all my drill colors as I'm going along here. And that takes a little time. That's a little bit, takes a little time. So I may or may not finish this by the end of the live. Well, I'm going to say I'm not going to finish it by the end of the live, but I'm going to be darn close. It's going to be done tonight. I'm going to stay working on it after the live, and I'm going to work on it until it's finished. And then I'm going to celebrate. I don't know how I'm going to celebrate, but I am going to freaking celebrate because I've been working on this since, but sporadically here and there. I've been working on it since last September. So I'm going to be so happy to be not dragging it back and forth between here and my guest bedroom where I store diamond paintings when I'm not working on them. Let me take a sip of wine. Hold on. Delish. Okay. I didn't know if I wanted to do that tonight, but I'm glad I did. It's pretty tasty. So I'm sorry I was a little bit late. I don't know if I really was, but I felt like I was a little bit late, rushed getting in. I was on the phone with Cindy Stevens, and I looked at the clock and I said, "Oh, I gotta go live in 3 minutes. I gotta go." So sorry about that, Cindy. I didn't mean to drop you off the phone so fast, but I still had to run and get my camera set up and get Jeff's iPad out of his bedroom. And yes, I did say his bedroom. It is our bedroom, but I don't sleep there, so it's kind of his bedroom. And get everything going. I was sitting in here already, so I had pretty much everything all set up because I was watching Mindy's live in here. But I didn't have my camera and all that happy business set up yet. So let me just say hello to everybody that's here tonight. Muttnut's gonna go have some dinner, so I'll see her in a little bit. Jennifer's here. Hello, hi Lizetta and Lisa. Crashly, how's Crashly doing? Cindy's here. Hi Jody. Hi Sue and Cornelia. And Dawn. Hi Dawn and Linda and Lori. Um, Yes, Jody, exactly. I am going to kit up I'm going to celebrate finishing this by kitting up a new one. But first, I have to kit down these bad boys. And I have 5 of these that are filled with drills. Now, I decided these are really, really nice drills. And because there are 250 colors, I do have an ample stash of spares in rounds, which this is a round drill kit. Um, but I want to make sure that if I ever do lose any drills off of this, because I'm not going to frame it behind glass and I'm not going to seal it either. It's double-sided adhesive. It's very, very sticky adhesive, but for those reasons, I'm going to kit this down and I'm going to keep my extra drills just in case. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to kit this down to create some extra storage to be able to kit up something new. Now, the thing I'm going to kit up that's new is going to be it's not that I don't want to do it because I do. It's just that I don't get to pick anything out of my stash. If I was going to pick, any painting out of my stash to do next, I probably wouldn't pick the one I'm going to do. But it is for an event, so that's why I'm picking it. It is my gnome, my tall mushroom gnome from Diamond Art Club that I'm going to be working on for the November event. So that's going to start on Tuesday. So I'm excited to work on it. It looks really, really cute. It's very cute, but this will be enough storage containers opened up that I'll be able to kit up a couple things, right, Jody? Since I figure, okay, here's how I look at it. The one that I'm going to kit up, the gnome, is kind of like for a job. You know what I mean? It's not that it's not for pleasure, but it's kind of, I have to do it. So it's kind of for a job. And so I just think I deserve like to kit up one for pleasure as well. And that's my rationale. And you guys can try to talk me out of it, all of that you want. But I don't think it will work. I think I've made my decision. But I don't know what. I don't know. I know last week I talked about kitting up one of my Lizzie Falcons from TSA. But I don't know. Maybe that is what I'll do. I'm feeling the needs for some mounted adhesive because I loved working on this double-sided, and mounted adhesive to me is a lot like working on double-sided. To me, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah. So what's everybody up to? How has your week been? How has your weekend been going? What's everybody out there working on? Are you working on something for fall? Are you working on Christmas gifts? What is everybody out there working on? I'm anxious to hear. So I was going to tell you guys about the reason why I wasn't going to have wine tonight. So last night was my friend's birthday dinner, and I was a little bit nervous about going out to eat because of my teeth. Right? I have yet to eat with the dentures in because it's just painful. I'm still healing and it just hurts. So why put myself through the added pain if I'm in the comfort of my own home? Might as well be comfortable, as comfortable as possible when I eat. So I was pretty sure that I wasn't going to be able to go there and eat. And we just went to Applebee's. We didn't go anyplace fancy or anything. So I wasn't sure I was going to be able to eat. So I decided since I wasn't going to be able to eat, I might as well drink, right? Right. So I go in and my girlfriend and her daughter, they were having a margarita. And I thought, margarita doesn't sound all that good. And I could get a glass of wine, but I have wine at home. I could get a beer, but you can have a beer anytime. So I decided I was going to get a mixed drink. So what did I decide to get? I decided to get myself a Long Island iced tea. Now, if you're not familiar, Long Island iced teas have 5 different liquors in them. It's 5 different liquors and then a little shot of sour mix and a little shot of soda. So I proceeded to drink my Long Island iced tea, and it was so delicious and refreshing. It tasted darn good. It tasted amazing. So I finished my Long Island and everybody was just getting their meal. So I was like, well, might as well have another. I think I was just really salty that everybody was eating this delicious food and I didn't get to have any. So I ordered myself a second Long Island iced tea. Thank goodness that I had the presence of mind to ask Jeff to come with me to this dinner. He didn't really want to go hang out with a bunch of chicks, but he went because he's a good sport. And thank goodness that I had him there to drive me home. Now, if he hadn't been there, I certainly wouldn't have drank that, but I had a designated driver, so party on, Wayne. Might as well do it up. And I did it up. And then I came home. And that's when the real fun started. Because I am such a lightweight. I came home and I felt like absolute doo-doo. Like, felt awful. Felt so bad. I went to bed last night at 8:25 p.m. because I felt so terrible. after drinking those 2 Long Island iced teas. I don't know what has happened to me. Back in the day, I would have been able to party like a rock star, you know, but not anymore. I can't hold my liquor. Cannot hold my liquor. Hey, Lisa. Hi, Judy. Hi, Lori. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Hi, Diamond Painting Cajun. Yeah, I'm loving this one. Loving it. All right, let's see. What's everybody working on? Cornelia's working on a mystery painting from DAC. Jennifer's working on a doggy sweater. Cute. Lisa's working on Christmas coasters. Awesome. Catherine is still working on some Enchanted Evening. How's that going, Catherine? About halfway done. Awesome. Tammy is working on Garden by the Bay, 2 paintings for Christmas gifts, Brave Soldier, Woodland Oasis, Crochet and 2 ponchos. Woo! Tammy's got 10 arms, you guys. Tammy's doing it all. Jenny's working on Seize the Day and a Grinch. Lisa's working on horse racing. Sue is sticking it out with her huge Craftably. I got to give Sue mad props because that is a gorgeous painting, but it has some dark colors. So she's been in the world of dark blues for about a month now since we started this event. And she has been so sticking to it. So she's been so dedicated with sticking to it, where I have flopped around. This is my third canvas for the same event. So, but I'm going to get this one done. So for the rest of the event, I will be working on the other 2 canvases that I have going for this event, which is the other one I'm working on is another Josephine Wall, but it's the Diamond Art Club Spirit of Flight. And then the other one is a Craftably Eye of Venus. So those are my 3 that I decided to work on for this event, because I can't pick just one. Everybody who knows me knows that. I can't stay to just one thing. I've been crocheting my little heart out too. I made 4 pairs of fingerless gloves yesterday and 1 hat. So I had made Maddie a pair of fingerless gloves last winter, and I used a houndstooth stitch with the black and white houndstooth, and she loved them so much she wore those bad boys right out. When we were at the Haunted Forest last week, she was wearing them, and they looked so raggedy. I said, Maddie, those are awful. I need to make you a new pair. So I made her a new pair of those. And then I had some knit crate yarn that was alpaca. And I thought I'd like to make her a warm pair, as like, because the houndstooth ones were just acrylic yarn. Thought I'd like to make her a nice warm pair as well. So I had that alpaca yarn, and that's what I used to make her another pair. So they're a little bit warmer, and a matching hat to go with it. And then I had enough yarn left over that I made a pair for myself, a pair for Emily, and yeah, so that's 4 pairs total that I made. Yep. Woohoo, Tammy, you ordered your yarn for the crochet along. Awesome. Lizetta's working on Queen of Her World. Lori's working on Stronger Than You Think You Are. I like that one. Was that a Long Island iced teas are your favorite? Yeah. Yes. Yep, can't drink like I used to. Haha, Jennifer. You are a world traveler, Tammy. You go everywhere. Dawn's working on a crystal canvas of a cat. Very cool. I love crystal canvas. I need to work. You know what? Maybe that's what I'll work on. I have a new one from them. Maybe that's what I'll kit up. I don't think I even unboxed it on my channel. I don't know why. I'll show you what it is. I don't think I unboxed it. Pretty sure I didn't. I'm not sure why I didn't. Yeah. I don't think, maybe I did. Maybe somebody will call me out on it. But I got this one. Oh, I started it. Look at me. Oh, where are the drills? Oh, they're still in there. Oh, I started working on it out of the baggies and getting it like it. Oh, yeah. I started this one because it's a square. It's the square crystal. And I was really intrigued by that. I did unbox this one. Yeah, this is what I'm going to work on next. It's so pretty. And even the 310s, even the 310s, you know how usually when you do a crystal canvas, the 310s are like just resin on top and have the foil backing. These 310s, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but they actually are see-through. They're actually clear 310s. Not clear, but you know what I mean. You can see the light shines through them is what I guess I mean. They're actually crystals, which I thought was pretty cool. So I got quite a bit of, not quite a bit of it done, but for something I forgot I even started, I've got a good start on that. Yeah, that's what I'll work on next. I haven't worked on a crystal canvas in a while. Oh, you remember that one, Jennifer? All right, so I did unbox it. I don't remember what I do, you guys. I don't remember what I do from one day to the next. Oh, I got my yarn that I ordered from Hirschner's for the next crochet along. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, me and Mindy do a crochet along on Fridays. We do a live on her channel. Right now we're working on a pillow, but as soon as we finish the pillow, we're going to start on an Afghan. And so I ordered the yarn and it came today. So I showed you guys last week just some yarn that I had in my stash that I thought I was going to put together. And the more I looked at those yarns together, the more I decided they didn't really match one another or coordinate with one another. So this is what I got, these colors. What do you guys think? Something kind of out of my comfort zone, not really my colors at all. If you know, so if you could choose colors to put with my personality, these aren't it. But I thought I'd try something different. So that's what I got. What do you guys think? I think it's going to be pretty. All right, let me just yeet that across the room. I almost made it back in the box. Almost. Hey, Karen, how you doing? I missed your comment there. No, Sue, I don't ever sleep. Don't ever sleep. Not often. Not often enough. Oh, great. Now I forgot what color I have in my tray. That color. Okay. Sideways open arrow. Sideways open arrow. So I can't wait to show you guys this when it's finished and I can get these drill containers off here and show you the whole canvas. So pretty. So pretty. Definitely my favorite diamond painting that I've ever done in my life. So I went to the yarn store today in the little town by my house. Listen to what my crazy husband did, you guys. He's a nut. Sometimes I just don't know what's wrong with him. So we're on our way. First of all, I didn't want him to ride with me because, well, you know why? Because I didn't want him to know how much the yarn was going to cost, right? Because what I needed was more yarn for my Espirito del Sol crochet along that I'm doing. It's a Hooked on Sunshine crochet along. And I ran out of yarn and I was on the last couple rounds of part 4 and part 5 of the crochet along came out yesterday. And I didn't want to get too far behind because it's a very large blanket. And I didn't want to fall too far behind on it. So I was going to run to the yarn store and he said, well, I'll come with you. That's not what I wanted to hear, right? So I said, oh, honey, that'd be great. That sounds fine. Let's go to the yarn store together. So we jump in the car and we head off to the yarn store. And it's in a little teeny town. It's a little teeny town near us that has I think it has a McDonald's and it has a stoplight. And it has a bar and a restaurant and a grocery store and a gas station. And that's about it. That's about all there is in this little town. And a couple little shops, obviously, because there's a yarn shop. Couple little shops. So we get there, and I'm like, you don't have to come in. You can wait in the car. He's like, no, that's okay. I'm like, well, you need to park, right here. He's like, oh, there's no spots. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I said, well, you could because we were going to go there's a little grocery store that's right around the corner from the yarn store. And I said, well, kind of down half a block and around the corner. I said, well, you could just go to the grocery store and you go to Frank's and I'll meet you there. I'll just walk over there when I'm done in the yarn store. It's like, no, that's all right. I'll go with you. Great. So, we get in, and then he's like, oh, there's no spots. There's no spots to park. He's like, I'll just drop you off right here. I said, okay. So he said, I'll just drop you off right here. And I said, okay. And I got out of the car and I'm thinking he's going to circle around because it's a street parking. It's not like there's no parking lots. You just park on the street. It's a little downtown area. I'm thinking he's going to circle around the other side of the block and park, on the other side of the block and come in and meet me. So I go in and I've got my list of colors that I need and I got my little basket and I'm filling my basket and I'm trying to do it as quickly as I can because, in the hopes that maybe I could get it all done and purchased before he parked the car and got in there, which I knew wasn't going to happen, but I was still trying. I was still trying to hurry. So I get all my yarn in the basket. I get up to the counter and the lady that owns the shop is in the back room chitter chatting with someone. Chitter. And I didn't want to be rude and be like, hello, assistance. But after a while of standing there and her not coming out, I finally did have to go say, excuse me, could I get some help cashing out? And she was really apologetic and nice, but I felt bad that I had to interrupt her chat session. Anyway, so I get my yarn and I pay and still no Jeff. I'm like, what the heck? Where the heck is he? Maybe he decided to just wait in the car. So I go outside and I got my bag of yarn and I'm looking up and down the street. I don't see the car. I don't see the car anywhere. I'm like, what the heck? Where the heck did he go? So I walk up and down the road, no car anywhere. What is going on? And I'm like, I wonder if he went to the grocery store. Nah, he said he wasn't going to do that. He said, I told him to, and he said no. He didn't go to the grocery store. So I'm standing there kind of just with this stupid, confused look on my face. Finally, I decide, well, he must have went to the grocery store. So I turn around and I start walking to the grocery store. Sure as shit, I turn the corner and there's the car in the parking lot of the grocery store. I'm like, you could have told me you were going to do that. Here I am just like a little vagrant wandering the streets with my bag of yarn. He was in the grocery store. So that was the first time I had been in a grocery store in literally months. And my jaw was agape at the prices of things. They wanted $5.99 for a freaking bag of Doritos. $5.99 for a bag of Doritos. And it might have been just me, but the bag looked smaller than it used to on top of that. Yeah. It was crazy. Cynthia! Hi, Cynthia! How are you? I've missed you. I haven't seen you in forever. I've been just running my jaws here. I haven't even looked at chat. Oh, thank you guys for the compliments on my colors. Oh, Tammy went with purple. It's nice. Yeah, Sue, I had definite sticker shock. And see, Jeff is a little bit of a, what's a nice way for me to call him a cheapskate? He's thrifty. He's thrifty. We'll put it that way. My husband is a little bit thrifty. And so all this complaining he's been doing about grocery store prices, I thought was just him belly aching. I didn't really put much stock in it. Not that I didn't believe him, but I pretty much didn't believe him. But he's been complaining about grocery prices, and I was just like, yeah. But now I saw it firsthand. I was just shocked. And that wasn't the only thing. I was looking at this little package of 3 donuts. And granted, they were like from their bakery, but they were donuts like that were leftover donuts from, the morning or whatever. $4 for 3 donuts. 3 pretty much day-old donuts. I could not believe it. It was crazy. It was just insane. So we left there with having spent $90, and we had about 3 bags of groceries. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So the way we work bills around here is Jeff calls it paying him rent. I pretty much pay him rent, and it covers my portion of the bills, and he just pays all the bills. And that works out well for us. I know, for some people that wouldn't work out, but for us, it works out perfectly. And we never fight about money. And, I never have to worry about it. It's just, it works out for us. And different, setups might work out better for different people. But that's what we do. And that's what we have found works best. Well, he keeps joking and threatening to raise the rent, and now I can see why. It's getting crazy out there. He probably should raise my rent. I don't want him to raise my rent because that means my craft budget goes down, but I probably deserve a raise in rent. Either that or I'm going to start eating less. Or start eating cheaper things, I guess. Hey, Mary Lou, how's it going? Hi, Cal. What? $8 a pound for bacon? No way. That's insane. That is just nuttier than a fruitcake. So my lease is coming due. Speaking of prices on things, I have a 2020 Equinox, and my lease is coming due in February. And Jeff's truck took a poop a couple months ago, and we had my old vehicle, which was a 2006 Trailblazer. I mean, it's 2006. It's got 130,000 miles on it, and I don't know why. After I got my Equinox, I don't know why we even kept it. To be honest with you, I don't even remember why we kept it, but we did, and it had been just sitting out and back by Jeff's pole barn for the past 2.5 years. Well, thank goodness we did still have it, because when Jeff's truck went out, he was able to just pick up and start driving that. And it's been running beautifully. It's been running just fine for him. And he hasn't had any problems with it at all so far. But with my lease coming due, and I'm not going to get a new vehicle because to be honest with you, I don't drive very often. Now that I was taking Nate to school and picking him up every day. But now Nate's riding the bus. So I'm not driving. I drive to go to the doctor. That's the extent of my driving. And, if I go on a trip, if I go to a retreat or something like that, but how often does that happen? A couple times a year. So we were going to, once my lease was up, Jeff was going to get a new truck, was the plan. Well, so he's been out looking at truck prices, and he wants a truck. I mean, and he needs a truck. We have a camper that we need to tow. We have a boat, and don't think we're all fancy. It's like a fishing boat. It's not like a yacht or anything. We have a boat that he needs to tow. He has a utility trailer that he likes to, use on, when he needs to. He has a snowmobile. Granted, he doesn't use it very often, but he still wants to be able to take it up north to his buddy's house when they want to go snowmobiling. So he really does need a truck. And he's pricing trucks to get the truck. And this is not even like a loaded freaking, leather, all the bells and whistles truck. $57,000 for a vehicle, for a truck, for just a normal guy truck. I was just shocked, absolutely shocked. So I've never really loved my Equinox. Not that it's not a decent car. It's just was never, the reason we got it when we did was because I needed something right away, and it was very, very cheap. The lease payments were very, very inexpensive at the time. They were running a special. And so that's what I got. And, but I'm not sad to see it go in any way, shape, or form. But so Jeff's been pricing these vehicles, and to get something used is even ridiculous. So he's actually talking about buying out the lease on my Equinox, which I'm not. I hate to sound like a spoiledy pants, but I'm not excited about it. I just don't love that vehicle. It doesn't drive well in the weather because it doesn't have all-wheel drive or anything. It's terrible in the snow and the rain. It's just as bad in the rain as it is in the snow. Yeah, I don't know. So but that's his big plan. That's his big idea, is that we're going to buy out the lease now. And then in 2 years, when Nate starts driving, that can become Nate's vehicle. Which that part is a good plan, because it would be nice to have Nate in something reliable. I wish I would have had that new of a car when I started driving. What was everybody's first car? I want to know. Okay, I want to know what year, make, and model everybody's first car was. And was it a clunker or was it a cool car? Everybody tell me. I know, right, Cynthia? Right, exactly. Right, I paid $55,000 for my house too. Not my house I live in now, but my first house. All right, nobody's going to tell me? Nobody's going to tell me what their first car was? Come on, you guys. All right, I'm 47. So that means I started driving in 1990. Is that right? 90 or 91. If I was born in 75, 91. That's right? If I was born in 75, I started driving in 91. So in 1991, my first car was a 1979 Chevette. That's right, baby. I was cruising in the Chevette. It was awesome. Not really. It was a piece of crap. It was such a junky car. So let me tell you about this Chevette. It was my uncle's, and my uncle used it for his work vehicle, and he had a manual labor job, and he got very dirty at his job. So the first thing we had to do was get all new seat covers because the seats were just trashed. The second part of it is the floorboards were rusted out on the driver's seat. So he had like a piece of board covering up the hole in the floorboard. So it was like a Fred Flintstone car. I could have put my little feet out the hole in the bottom and just paddled. So that was the second thing my dad and I did, was my dad welded on a plate or whatever onto the floorboard, which was much appreciated by me. So the way I ended up with this car is my dad bought it from my uncle for, guess how much? Guess how much he paid for my first car? A case of beer. So that should tell you the worth of the vehicle. My dad bought it from my uncle for a case of beer. Yup. But I had more fun in that little thing. That thing was a blast. Little 4-speed stick shift. Yep, I had a blast in that. All right. Sue had a 1972 Chevy Nova. Nice. Tammy had a 66 Caprice. Woo! That was probably a was that a big car? That was probably a big car. Dawn had a 75 Nova Super Sport. Awesome. Toyota Starlet. What the heck is a Starlet? Like a baby Tercel. Okay, okay. Oh, but you also had a 77 Trans Am. Of course you did, Jody. Jennifer had a Yugo. Yes. I remember Yugos. I have a story about a Yugo. Lucetta had an Orange Vega 74 or Orange Vega. All right. All right. Lori had a 71 Gold Duster. Cool. Tammy had a Chevette. Cool. Cool. Heck yeah. It was like a little clown car, huh, Tammy? They were deceiving. You could fit a lot of people in those suckers. Somehow managed to cram 8 people in it. Yep. Lisa had an 83 Honda Accord hatchback, and it was nice. Very cool. Jennifer, I was embarrassed by it. Got dropped a block away from school. Got my license. Was like, hell yeah, I want that Yugo. That's right. It's weird how things change. Once you get your license, you'll take anything. Kyle got Chris's hand-me-down, red Toyota Tercel. They had so many little dents in it. We called it a Coke can. Yeah, Tammy, I bet that thing was a tank. Hi, Ashley. How are you? Brenda, in 76, when I graduated, I got a 64 Ford Mustang at for $350. Nice. Bet you wish you had that car now, don't you? Sue learned to drive on a 62 station wagon. Oh, Linda, you had a Gremlin. Awesome. Putrid Plum Gremlin. I've got a story about a Gremlin, too. Berta had an 89 Chevy Cavalier stick shift. Ooh, you were styling. Chevy Cavaliers were the shit back then. They were like the rich man's Chevette. They were the step up. I think when I was in high school, just about everybody had a Chevette. Not everybody, but it was a very common car. You saw a lot of Chevettes on the road around here. Put it that way. I don't know if we are just a depressed economic area or what, but there was a lot of Chevettes on the road. So as you guys know, I live in Michigan. So talking about the Yugo. In Michigan, we have the Mackinac Bridge, which at one point, and it's not anymore, but at one point it was the world's longest suspension bridge. It's very high in the air and it's very long. It's like over a mile long, this bridge. And it might even be longer than that. I don't know. Somebody can look it up. Make sure I'm not lying. But they frequently have to close the bridge. Not frequently, but it happens multiple times a year. They have to close the bridge to vehicular traffic. Well, not that there's walking traffic, but they have to close the bridge to traffic because of high winds. And one year, this was when I was in high school, shortly before I got my license, and all my friends were getting their license, and Yugos were kind of the big thing at the moment. You know, they were inexpensive, good starter entry level cars. A lot of kids were getting them. A Yugo, it was a high wind day. It was before they closed the bridge for the day, and a Yugo blew off the railing of the bridge and got blown right into Lake Michigan. I remember that like it was yesterday. It was crazy. It was like the big news around here. It was crazy. But then talking about the Gremlin, you had putrid, what'd you call it? Putrid Plum? Gremlin. My best friend and I, growing up, her mom had a orange Gremlin. And this car was so ugly. Talk about getting dropped off a block from school. That was us every day. We would make her drop us off a block away from anywhere we were going. And it sucks because she was the nicest lady in the whole world. She would drive us anywhere. She was one of the only, probably the only mom that was always like, "Oh, you guys want to go to the mall? Sure, I'll take you. Do you guys want to go to the movies? Sure, I'll drive." And she was so kind and so generous and always willing to give us a ride. And here we were so terrible to her that we were so embarrassed of her car that we made her drop us off a block away from everywhere we went. I think back at those things now and I'm just embarrassed at myself. You know, are there things you look back on in life and you're just like, why did I act like such an ass? That's one of the things, because she was a super nice lady. Super nice lady. Kieran, you didn't get your first car till you were 23. What were you doing? Were you not driving or were you just driving someone else's car? Ashley, you're a 90s kid? Okay, what's a 90s kid? Because I consider myself a 90s kid, kind of, because I kind of came of age in the 90s. I mean, kind of like the grunge era is kind of like, when but I was more of an 80s kid, I guess. Born in 75, so as a kid, I was in the 80s. Berta had a Beretta. That's funny. Oh, that's right, Kieran. I forgot. I'm sorry. That was insensitive of me. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth. I miss so many. I miss so many comments. Sue, I had to have a job or a car because I already had a job. I got my first job at age 14. My parents were friends with, well, more my grandparents were friends with the owners of a restaurant chain here in town. And I say chain, there were like four of them in the Tri City area. Um, and they gave me a job waitressing at 14. So for 2 years, I had to get a ride back and forth to work. And my parents were so sick of driving me that, they were all too thrilled to get me a car when I finally turned 16. Which reminds me, I don't know if I should even tell this story. It's a very self deprecating story. It reminds me of the story of the first time I ever got drunk. It's a bad story. The first time I ever drank, you guys are going to think I'm a horrible person because I was quite young. I was 15. I was in driver's training. It was 4th of July. It was the hottest 4th of July I can ever remember in my life. We're talking, it was in the hundreds. And I didn't want to go. We had a pool. I did not want to go to the fireworks. I wanted to stay home in my pool and chill out. But my parents, I had made plans with my friends, and my parents were like, "You made these plans. They're looking forward to it. Da 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 da. You should go. Blah blah blah." So I went. So the plan was my friends and we were going to go downtown, to walk downtown and go to the fireworks from my one friend's house who lived kind of close to downtown area. And walk around. And, there's always vendors and, got to see who you can see and all that stuff. So we meet up with some boys. Of course, every bad story in the world starts with meeting up with some boys, right? So we meet up with some boys from school, and one of them had a car. And so we decide we're going to go riding around with these boys. Bad idea, I know, but I was 15 and I was with friends and there was peer pressure and, all of that. Keep in mind that it's in the hundreds. It's well over 100 degrees this day. So these boys decide they want to try to, because there's, two things on a boy's mind at that age. One of them we're not going to talk about. The other one is let's party. Um, so they decide that they're going to try to find some way to get some alcohol. I had never drank. I was 15. My friends had never drank. And so these boys, we go to this little downtown, shady part of town, shadier part of town, party store. And there's this bum walking in, and one of the guys approaches him and offers him, I don't know, probably $5, because we're talking back in the 80s, to buy us alcohol. So he agrees. I thought he was going to get ripped off, but he agrees, and he goes in, and he comes out with a fifth of Southern Comfort and a 2-liter of Sun Country wine cooler. So I hadn't eaten all day because it was very, very hot. And when it's real hot, you don't feel like eating. So I start drinking. And it takes me because I was very, very small for my age. I was still shopping in the children's department when I was a sophomore in high school. And in no time at all, I'm 3 sheets to the wind. And by now, the fireworks have gone off. The boys have to be home because it's their curfew. My girlfriends decide they can't possibly take me home because I'm, drunk off my patooter, and they don't want to get in trouble. They don't care about me. They don't want to get in trouble. So the boys take me to a friend of theirs' house whose parents had a camper sitting in their driveway, and they put me in this camper and leave me there and take my friends home. So I'm there by myself, passed out in this camper, and I kind of come to, and I don't really know where I am, and I must have been making some noise or something, because before too long the porch light comes on and somebody's opening the door to the camper. It's the mom. It's the mom of the kid who lives in the house. Now, this kid was not a part of the shenanigans at all. It was just a friend of one of the guys that was in the car with us. So the mom comes out. She sees that I'm, toasted, and she takes pity on me and brings me in the house. Bad mistake. Huge. Bad mistake. So she brings me in the house, and she lays me down on her couch with white carpeting in her living room. And she's talking to me and trying to find out who I am and where I live and get my phone number and tell me we got to call my parents. They're going to be worried about me, blah, 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 blah. And at this point, I'm not hearing anything this lady says because I feel so sick. But I think I'm thinking I can weather the storm. Well, out of nowhere, I just explosively vomit all over her white carpet. Very, very Sun Country wine cooler. I know I ruined that carpet. I know I did. And she was so nice about it. I can't even fathom if that happened to me. I would have been so mad. I would have been calling the police when I found the kid in my camper. But she was so sweet. So my parents, in the meantime, had called the police because I hadn't shown up at home. They had no idea where I was. And the police are out looking for me. And they bring me home. So the police did come. Yeah, the police did come. And they took me home. Got there. My mom walks out of the door. walks up to me and slaps me across the face as hard as she can. And my mom never hit me. Now I got spankings from my dad, but my mom never hit me. Slaps me across the face as hard as she can. And it kind of one of those head turning slaps. Well, I was feeling no pain. I looked at her and I started laughing. That was a bad mistake. Big mistake. You don't want to cross my mom when she's mad. So that was not a fun night. They made me sit up all night and drink coffee. They would not let me go to bed, just as a punishment. They made me sit there and drink coffee all night, where I repeatedly ralphed my guts out because gross. I was 15. I didn't drink coffee. Yeah, it was a bad night. It was bad. And then, like I said, it was summertime. I was in driver's training. I had to be at driver's training at 7:30 the next morning. So they had already told me that I was not getting a car for my 16th birthday because as a punishment for this, and that I was going to quit driver's training. They were pulling me out of driver's training, but not before they made me get up and go to driver's training the very next morning, just as a punishment. So that's the story of the first time I ever drank alcohol. Not a good experience. And it taught, I would never employ the same tactics with my own children, I don't think. Well, I guess they didn't really do anything that wrong. But it did deter me from drinking for a very, very, very long time. So, thank God nothing bad happened to me. A lot worse could have happened to me. I mean, a girl, vulnerable with a bunch of guys, a lot worse could have happened. So I'm thankful for that. But yeah, funny story. Funny story. I know, I'm glad she was nice too. It was pretty bad. Oh, so you guys probably didn't even notice sitting on you probably definitely didn't notice, he kind of blends in with the background. I don't have a cover to mind right now because I'm working on such a small section, but I wanted to show you guys, this is just a little preview of what's coming up in November. This came from Coverminder Siobhan on Etsy, and this is going to be one of the prizes, one of the weekly prizes. Each of the 2 weeks that I'll be giving away prizes, she so generously donated these. So if you've never ordered from her, go to her shop and check out her stuff. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cover minders. Love them. Super cute. And I don't have a cover to mind, but I've got him over here just being my friend. I know, I'm super excited about November. Man, after that long story, I needed a drink. As I talk about drinking alcohol, I'm not an alcoholic. In fact, my lives are the only time I really do drink. And retreats. But I have to say, usually Maddie and I, we have 3 nights of the retreat, and we usually bring 4 bottles of wine. So, figure that out. But we do early, we do like happy hour drinking when we're at the retreat. This time we brought our bottles of wine. We did not even finish 1 bottle of wine the whole retreat, just because I was feeling so crappy the whole time. So we lugged all that wine, because I brought it from home. Lugged all that wine with us, and we didn't even drink any. Didn't drink any of it. So I got a quick question. I was thinking about you guys earlier. How many of you have little silent battles with your significant other, or play little sadistic jokes on one another? Jeff and I do this to each other all the time. And we're both really good at not revealing what we've done. Like, we just don't even talk about it. We both know that we're messing with each other, but it's just never discussed. Like the other day. Okay, like I've told you guys many times, Jeff does all the cleaning and all the dishes and all the everything. I mean, I cook on occasion, but Jeff mostly does everything else. Um, so he's mad at me because I've been going through a lot of bowls and spoons lately because I'm eating mostly like soft food, well, all soft foods. So I go through a lot of bowls and spoons. So the dishes needed to be done. Now we have a dishwasher, so really the dishwasher just needed to be loaded and ran. But he's pissed because I've been going through so many spoons and bowls. So he decides to leave the dishes and not do them just to see if I'll do them. So just to mess with him back, I didn't do them. I just left him sit there. And he finally buckled. He caved first. He caved first and he did the dishes yesterday morning on his before he went to work. And I was just laying in my chair laughing my butt off. And then so then today I went to the bathroom, and now Jeff and I have our own bathroom in our bedroom. Well, the bathroom's not in our bedroom, but it's attached to our bedroom. And I used the last little scrap of toilet paper on the roll and then didn't replace it. I can't wait for him to go in there to take a dump and there's no toilet paper. I don't, I know that's cruel, but little things like that just crack us up. We do stuff like that to each other all the time. Oh, Ashley, that sounds cute. I'm crazy and I gnome it. Love it. I love gnome puns. I wish I could think of more gnome puns because they're very punny. Um, I just love all the puns that can go along with gnomes, but I'm not very I'm not a wordsmith. I'm not very creative when it comes to coining a phrase at all. We've been trying to come up with slogan for next year's retreat, and everybody's got such good ideas, and I really am lacking in that department. Creativity is not my strong suit when it comes to that. See, look at you guys. I'm getting a lot of this done. I'm definitely not going to be done by the end of this live, but I will be done tonight. Come hell or high water, I will get this done tonight. Oh, so what else is going on in my world? Not much. Not much of anything. I'm going to make a roast tomorrow. You guys don't care about that, but so I am going to cook tomorrow, and I'm going to bake a cake. Jody, it's all your fault because you always talk about cake. And so we were walking through, I was looking for applesauce, and we went down the cake mix aisle, and I told Jeff, I want to make a cake. He's like, you what? Like, I'm going to make a cake. I was like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get a cake. He said, I'm never bringing you to the grocery store again. It cost me too much money. And I did cost him a lot more than it would have if I hadn't been there. That's probably actually why he prefers to do the grocery shopping, because I would spend a lot more money than he does. It's probably a good plan. We probably save a lot of money by him doing the grocery shopping. Because back in the olden days, when the girls were still at home, it was my job. I did all the grocery shopping and all the cooking and most of the cleaning. Things really kind of shifted when I got sick about 12 years ago. And God, has it been that long? Maybe 11 years ago? Yeah, 10, 11, 12 years ago. Things really kind of shifted in our relationship with taking responsibility for chores. And then, I got a little bit better, but things never went back to the way they were before. And I'm okay with it. I'm just okay with it. Well, that looks to be all of those. Maybe. Maybe not. You know, the one thing about this canvas that I have to say is, they had to get really, really creative to come up with 250 different symbols. Um, and from what I hear, and again, don't take this as gospel because this is just what I've heard. Diamond Painting Deutschland uses the same symbol for each DMC code, no matter what kit it's on. So if you know the symbol for 312, it's the same on all of their kits, which is an amazing idea. I mean, I wish more places would do that because a lot of us do so much diamond painting that you would actually become familiar with, you know, symbols. I think it's a super good idea. Now, it might lead to, and I can see why places don't do it because it might lead to having two like symbols next to each other on some kits. You know what I mean? Like an arrow going one way and an arrow going the other way. They might end up next to one another. But I don't know. So I guess there's pros and cons to it, but I like the idea of having symbols assigned by DMC, not by not different by Canvas. Anyway, what I was trying to say is, um, I am amazed at having this many different symbols on a canvas and how intricate some of these symbols are, how clear the canvas is to read. The symbols are very, very clear for as detailed as what the symbols are. Like, for example, these three symbols here. You've got this one that's like a piece of paper with lines on it. This one is like a notebook with lines on it. And this one is three pieces of paper stacked on top of one another with lines on it. But they're very, very easily distinguishable on the canvas. Ashley, I think, oh, maybe it's not. Hi, Sherry, how are you? Yes, Kelly, that exactly. When that happened, he absolutely became more appreciative for everything that I used to do. I mean, because I was working full time as well, and I was still taking care of the kids primarily, and I was doing all of the housework and the cooking and the shopping, the grocery shopping. And when I got sick and he had to start carrying that load, he definitely became a lot more appreciative of everything that I had been doing. And I think that feeling or that recognition kind of lingers, that I did that for so long, that he figures it's his turn now. And that's why he really doesn't mind doing it all now. I don't know. Maybe. All I know is I got it good right now. And I don't want it to change. But somebody else made, actually what it was I don't remember why. Oh, I was concerned about my relationship with my oldest daughter. We are not as close as I would like us to be, and I was at a loss for how to rekindle a close relationship with her. Um, and so I went to see a counselor. And inevitably, when you're talking and when you're, in that kind of a therapeutic situation, you start to talk about things other than just that topic. You know what I mean? The rest of your life kind of filters in. So we were talking about Jeff and my relationship with Jeff and, the dynamics of our marriage and whatnot. And, I mean, she just acted like I was the worst person in the world that I let him do all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, I got it good right now. Why would I want to wreck that? He doesn't mind, and what the hell? It's not hurting anybody. Not hurting a soul. And he also, oh, I was going to talk about that earlier. We kind of brought it up. Jeff and I, we have a master bedroom. It's an addition that we had put on our house back after Nate was born. Our house was a 3-bedroom house, and we had 3 kids, one of whom was a toddler boy, and the other 2 were teenage girls. And it just wasn't quite big enough for us. Just the house as a whole just wasn't quite big enough for us. So we had a master bedroom, bathroom, walk-in closet addition put onto the house. And when we did that, it was Jeff and I's room. Well, then I got sick, and I ended up through the course of everything with a back injury. And it's a long story. Ended up with a back injury, and I could not lay flat. I could not lay in a bed. So I have not slept in a bed in 12 years, barring when I have to, like at a hotel or something. And then I just prop myself up a lot with pillows and stuff. But I can't, and I toss and I turn and stuff. I can't do that at home with Jeff because he needs to get sleep to go to work. So I sleep in my recliner. And that's another thing that counselor had big problems with, that I couldn't possibly have a healthy marriage if we didn't share a bed. Just because we don't share a bed doesn't mean that we don't have physical intimacy, or you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like we have a very healthy relationship. We enjoy each other's company. We spend a lot of time together. I don't know. I hate counselors because I don't know. I feel so judged. And I think I have a great marriage, and Jeff does too. So if we're happy, I don't think it should be anybody else's, place to kind of say, oh, your relationship isn't good. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? Both Brendas, right after another. Oh, that's awesome. You know what, Sue? No, you will not send me yours to finish. No, no, no. Yeah, Jennifer, I agree. And yeah, it does. I felt like she was very judgmental. So, needless to say, I don't see her anymore. um, yeah. Yeah, right, Karen? There's a lot of, yeah. A lot of people have separate rooms, and I mean, as long as we're both happy, and we are, what's the harm, really? I've actually, not recently, but in the past, have tried sleeping with him. Can't do it. Right, Melinda? Yes, these lies do drive me to drink. Yep. Drive me to drink. That and my kids. No, my kids are awesome. My kids are awesome. So Nate still doesn't know what he's going to be for Halloween. What do you guys think Nate should dress up as for Halloween? I know we only got like one day to figure it out. But because we did that haunted train for so many years, we would always take, because in our school district, and I'm sure it's the same in a lot of school districts, high school students have to have a certain number of community service hours for graduation. That's a requirement for graduation. So we would get a lot of volunteers from the high school that would come and work at our site to get credit for community service. So we would always have extra costumes. So I have this huge bin of like so many costumes. Um, so I'm confident if we can't find something in the store tomorrow that he can find something to wear out of the costume bin. But I don't. But he doesn't want that. He wants a new costume because of course he does. He's a kid, you know. See, yeah, and I'm sure your relationship's just fine, Jennifer. You don't have to sleep together. Oh my gosh, Kieran, that's hilarious. 50 Shades of Grey. Nate's only 14. He won't know what that means. At least I hope he won't. But oh my goodness, you know, I'm going to sound like a bad mother when I say this. Uh, but really, maybe it's more of a public service show. Nate, we're in the car the other day. Nate says to me, Mom, on Breaking Bad, why was there crystal meth blue? Like, what? What? First of all, first of all, how do you know that crystal meth isn't supposed to be blue? Second of all, what the hell are you doing watching Breaking Bad? Not exactly the show that I want my 14-year-old watching. Jeff got mad. Jeff was furious with him, furious about him watching it. And Nate's like, no, it's he's like, it really it's good because now I see what I don't want to be like. So I mean, and Nate has a good head on his shoulders, and Nate's a really good kid. So I don't worry about anything, drug wise happening with him. But I just thought that was crazy. Ah, Mrs. Doubtfire would be awesome, Sue. Great idea. Oh my gosh. Yes, I have a dressy. Oh, definitely. Love it. Very cute. Nate should be a zombie. Yes, a zombie would be great. Oh my god, the breadwinner, Karen. That's too much. That's so funny. You know what, Brenda? That's an awesome idea, though. Nate gets mad every year um, that he believes that the day after things, or not the day after Thanksgiving, I'm sorry. He believes that the day after I said Thanksgiving again. Have another drink of wine, Ange. He believes that the day after Halloween should be a holiday, that they should never have school the day after Halloween because all the kids want to stay up late and play with their candy. And see, because for us, Halloween is always a family holiday. We really kind of turn it into a family event. We all go to my sister's house. I think I've talked about it before. We go to my sister's house, we meet up, everybody goes trick or treating together. And then we come back to her house afterwards, and the kids spill out their candy and compare notes. And we have my sister always puts on a big spread, and we have lots of food. And everybody chit chats and has a great time. And when Halloween falls on a weeknight, everybody has to pack up and get going early. So those 2 nights every 7 years or whatever that Halloween falls on a weekend, the kids are always really excited that we get to stay late and watch scary movies and really have a good time. So I agree with your mayor. I think your mayor's onto something there. I think that they should make it always always on a weekend. I like that idea a lot. Someone in Mindy's live was saying that they were having trick or treating there that tonight too, in their town. I like that idea. It's so funny. The first year we moved out here, Jeff and I were both city kids. We both grew up in the city, and I grew up having, in all my life before we moved out here, having tons of trick or treaters. Like you bought lots of candy because you were gonna, if not, you were gonna end up turning off your porch light early because you had so many trick or treaters, you ran out of candy. So the first year we moved out here, I got my Halloween bowl out, and I went and I got all my candy, and Halloween's here, and I get all dressed up. And that year it happened that the girls were spending Halloween with their dad. He was taking them trick or treating, so it was just Jeff and I at home. And I go get dressed up and get my costume on because I always dress up as a witch every single year. And I go get my costume on and I'm doing my makeup. And Jeff comes in. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" "I'm getting ready." It's like, "You're getting ready for what?" "I'm getting ready for trick or treating." He's like, "You're going trick or treating?" Like, "No, for the trick or treaters." He's like, "Angie, nobody's coming here to trick or treat." "Yes, they are. Of course they will. We live in the middle of nowhere. I don't know who I thought was coming trick or treating." So I had all this candy and I'm all dressed up. We didn't get one trick or treater, not one. And I ended up eating that whole bowl of candy by myself. It was awful. "You're going to be by yourself for Thanksgiving, Berta." "Aw. That sucks." Bearded lady. That's a good one. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, a lot of people were upset by it, Brenda. Wow, that surprises me. Tape a nickel on his back and go his Nickelback. All right, Tammy, good night. I'll see you later. Oh, yeah. Fall break. That would have been better this week, huh? Definitely. Definitely. Well, I feel like I just been jacking my jaws off tonight. That came out bad. That came out way wrong. You guys know what I meant. You know what I meant. I'm gonna get this section done. Na 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 na. I'm gonna be done with this diamond painting. Woo woo. Maybe I'll even have a shot of moonshine when I'm done. No, I don't want to feel like I did last night. I better cut it at wine. Just stop it right at the wine. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Look at you guys. Not much further to go. Probably, in all actuality, it's probably 2 hours because there's a lot of one and dones on here. Lot of one and dones with the colors. Hey, the reading bell, how are you? I know, right, Rhonda? Woo woo! Aw, yeah, Berta, that's sad. I hate that. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. I can't imagine spending it alone. That would be terrible. I'm sorry. You're welcome to come down. You're welcome to come on down to Michigan and spend it with us. I'll be cooking as always. I don't know when I get to retire my cooking hat, but not anytime soon. For a minute there, I thought I was going to be able to retire from Thanksgiving cooking when Emily and Nick bought their house. But then they sold their house and moved to Tennessee, so that didn't happen. And of course, Emily's back now with the girls, but it's just her and the girls, and they're staying with my ex husband. So, unless I want to go have Thanksgiving dinner at my ex husband's house, Emily's not cooking. And Maddie, oh my gosh, Maddie's so funny, you guys. Maddie is a girl after her mom's own heart. I tell you what, I trained the girl well. I was talking to her on the phone today. I was actually talking to her on FaceTime. And I said, I heard some rattling around. I was like, "What is that noise?" I said, "Are you doing the dishes?" She's like, "Yes, I know." Honestly, today She was 25 years old the first time, which was today, that I ever witnessed that kid do anything remotely domestic. I've never seen her or heard of her doing a load of laundry, cleaning a bathroom. Yeah, she just does. Austin does everything. Yeah, she's like, I know Austin keeps bugging me to do the dishes, so I decided I better do them because we're having company. She was not happy about it, but she did it. Not happy about it at all. But anyway, yeah, I'll be cooking Thanksgiving dinner again for. We have it at my friend Jennifer's house, and it gets to be less and less of us every year. In my pinnacle of my Thanksgiving dinner making career, I was cooking for 27 people. This last year, I think we were down to 11. Just as kids have grown up and, moved on and gotten their own families and traditions have changed. Um, it's just gotten to be, just a smaller and smaller group. It's funny though, because for years, as our group shrunk, I wasn't compensating with the quantity of food I was making. So I was still cooking for 27, even though we only had, like 15. And we had so much food, it was ridiculous. Just way too much food. Oh crap, these are the colors I mixed up. All right, I mixed up 2 different blues in this one bin, so I gotta make sure I use the right ones. I hate it when I do that. Hate it when that happens. You know who I haven't seen in a while? Has anybody seen Irene Eichenhorst in a live lately? I have not seen her in a really long time, and I'm a little bit worried about her. Rhonda, what's a National Lampoon Canadian Thanksgiving? That sounds interesting. Oh, Sue, you changed your name. Oh, okay. I am rocking it, right, Cynthia? Can't wait to get it done. Woo, woo, woo. I wanted to be able, I thought I had timed it. I guess I misestimated my time. I thought I timed it so that I could finish it in this live. That was my goal, but it's not going to happen. Just barely not going to happen. I'm going to have to wait and have Jeff before I have Jeff, because I'm not going to frame this one. Jeff usually frames them for me, does the canvas wrap frame. But because it's so large, I'm afraid that it's going to be too heavy with the wood on it. So I'm just going to, I don't know if I'm going to paint my borders and cut them all equal and hang it up that way, because right now the borders aren't equal size. So I don't know if I that's probably what I'll do is cut the borders to all be the same width all around, and then paint them and then just hang it up on the wall that way. But I don't think I'll be able to do the canvas wrap. It'll just be too heavy because it's so big. But I want to get it up on my wall ASAP, because I know how I am. If this goes back in the guest bedroom and laying on the bed, it'll be forever before I get it off there. So the quicker I can get it up, the better. but I do want to be able to show it to you guys once it's finished in its entirety. I don't know, I'm going to have to mount the camera on the ceiling or something to be able to show the whole thing. Do some kind of funky camera angles. When I get to the point where I only have a few of one color, I don't even bother pouring them in the tray. I just work right out of my little storage containers. That is the height of laziness right there. Or is it efficiency? You be the judge. Oh, where did I see that? I know I saw another one. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, Cal, see you later. Ooh, Halloween party. All right, fun, fun. Yes, Sue, I will be done tonight. Okay, so Rhonda's got her story about her National Lampoon's Canadian Thanksgiving. Discovered potatoes eaten by mice when beginning our prep. 3 hours cleaning. Ferret got inside a hole in the wall. Oh gosh. Wouldn't come out. Husband in the backyard cutting wood to cover holes to block mice. Then oven element spark burst into flames. Then broke, leaving dinner half cooked. So turkey went into the air fryer, ham into the microwave, yams and other vegetables into the steamer. Turkey skin became turkey jerky, and only the middle was moist. Oh my gosh, you really did have a National Lampoon's Thanksgiving. Oh, that sounds like something only would happen in my house. That's hilarious. That is a series of unfortunate events. That's very many unfortunate events to happen all in the same day. So I got to know, did you laugh or did you cry? Because I mean, I'm sure in the beginning, I mean, at one point you got to just laugh about it, right? I'd say after about the third thing happened, you'd have to just laugh. Oh my gosh. At that point, I would have been saying, screw it and ordering out Chinese. This year we're having Chinese for Thanksgiving. Oh, ay, ay, ay. All right, you guys, I am going to hit it. I am going to finish this. Well, first, the reason I'm going to hit it is because I have to use the ladies because I drank too much wine. I'm just kidding. I only had one glass. It's not even finished. But it's hitting me. It's hitting the bladder. So I'm going to run to the ladies' room and I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you all for tuning in and being here with me. I hope that all of you have a great night and a great rest of your weekend. And I hope you have a fabulous Halloween. Have fun. Be safe. Get a lot of treats or give a lot of treats, whichever way it goes for you. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.